What is good, people? Welcome back to the channel. KG is back. It is time for a brand new video talking today about Jack Harrison and his future away from Elland Road. And I'm also going to talk about a player that, could Leeds look at him in the summer? Obviously, when we get promoted, I'm going to get into that as well. Before I do, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. Big up to every single member of the channel. It really does mean a lot that you go the extra mile for me, and I do appreciate it. And if you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. I was watching a stream of something last night, nothing to do with football, and they were saying, hey guys, even if you don't like the content, just put it on in the background while you're cleaning. And I would say that for mine as well. Even if you don't like the title, click it anyway while you're cleaning and just let the video run. Hey, that would be nice. But listen, getting into today's video, Jack Harrison, the YEP put this out yesterday, and of course, you're going to have to speak about it. Going to have to speak about it because for me, there's no smoke without fire. But Joe Donahue reported here, Jack Harrison could return to MLS this summer. The YEP understands. No approaches or official negotiations yet. Finances a potential sticking point, but exploratory talks are understood to have taken place. The unknown Everton winger is contracted to Leeds until 2028. And obviously we know why that was. You know, he signed that new deal after the Leicester deal fell through, which was just a bad idea. This isn't hindsight. Please go back to my video. As I said, it wasn't a good idea. But he did sign a new contract, which then had those loan clauses involved. And that's why he's contracted so long to this football club. But what this report tells me is that Leeds United and Jack Harrison, both parties know he can't come back here. He cannot return to Elland Road under any circumstances. There's just no point. Where we want to be in the Premier League, Jack Harrison can't help us. He can't. And listen, Jack Harrison did some good for us when he was here. He absolutely had some games where you thought, man, this guy could be a player. He could be an absolute baller, man. Potential England candidate. But it was because his performances were just so inconsistent. You just went, where's Jack Harrison? And I'm not going to go through his whole history. We'll wait until he leaves. But I remember when we put him on the left, the right, through the middle, just to wake him up. And it was like, just bench him. There's other players here, you know, try someone else. But Jack Harrison, I think after the second loan, or even probably the first one, I don't think he'd be welcome back, and that's probably where the sentimental fans will probably have issue with him because he was here during the Bielsa era, and they probably thought that he wouldn't do that. But you know, football's a business; it's about opportunity, and that's why I don't hold it against him. He had the opportunity to go back to the Premier League twice. I hold no ill will against him for that. I just think he's a very average player who needs his confidence up in order to perform. And we've got to move away from that. We've got to move away from those kind of players. They've got to go. We cannot have players that have got self-doubt in their ability. And the thing is, this isn't me speculating. He said it himself. There was a thing where him and Rodrigo were talking, and he was just so subservient to Rodrigo. You know, you should be putting your nuts on the table, saying, "No, actually, I've done pretty well. I'm the better player." But he's like, "No, I guess you're the better player." No, that we've got to get away from those players, and he's got to go. But the MLS thing is interesting because Jack is, what is he now? I don't even know how old he is, but he's coming up to his 28th birthday or something like that. He's coming up to his 20th year, regardless. But the return to MLS makes just so much sense in terms of Jack Harrison. He's tried the Premier League thing. And in all fairness, with Everton this season, he's been very consistent because he's got equal numbers on both goals and assists. Big old donuts there. 23 matches, 0 goals, 0 assists. And the Everton fans have pretty much let him know how they feel about him. Yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. That's all I'm saying. But it's just not his level. And when I said that, yeah, he could be good in the championship, looking at our team now, who does he get in front of? He doesn't get in front of any of our wingers that we have right now, not one. So with Jack, the MLS, he's been there before. He obviously had a very good spell there. And I think it is possible that he could go there. And now the finances, they're saying it could be an issue, but we've just seen Latte Laugh, someone that a lot of you guys wanted here. He's gone to the MLS. It's just about finding a club that can pay a fee for him. I don't want it. I don't want a loan. Don't want that. We need to get rid of him off the books, much like we've done with Rasmus Christensen. And if you haven't seen that video, please go back and check that one out. I'll leave a link in this video at the end as well. It's about getting these players off the books and not just keep reloading them out. It's if we can get any kind of money, we may lose on some of, you know, that's just natural. But I think we can get what, 10, 11 million for Jack. I think that is a deal that can be done. And I hope when it gets closer to the time, Leeds United do explore it a bit more and we can get him done. Look, Jack, it won't do Jack any good coming back here. There's just too much baggage, too much water under the bridge, in my opinion. And he doesn't perform consistently enough in order to let the fans forget it. You know what I mean? Especially at a Premier League level. If it was back in the Championship, he'd have more of a shot, much like Brendan Aronson, but he's got no chance. And I think he's found now, Premier League, it may not be for me. All right. It might just be that. And he could be happy in MLS. Look, Wilfred Zaha's currently out in MLS right now. You know, it's not like MLS of yesteryear where people go out to pasture. It's a decent enough league, and I do hope that Leeds United and Jack Harrison can get something done in order to facilitate a move away from Elland Road on a permanent basis this summer. But let me know your thoughts in the comments about Jack Harrison. Speaking of wingers, there is a need for us to recruit on the right hand side, and Ritsu Doan, who's currently playing for Freiburg, who are battling for a Champions League place. In all fairness, he's very open to a move to Frankfurt. Who I think we're selling Christensen to. Could be them. Yeah, it is them, isn't it? The 26-year-old Japanese winger is Frankfurt's top target for the right flank. Talks are ongoing as Eintracht already wanted to sign in January. The Freiburg boss, Sire, is currently demanding at least 20 million euros. His contract runs until 2027 with no release clause. Now, the reason why I've pulled up Ritsu Doan is because this player, and listen, if you've been playing, I guess if you played Championship Manager in, maybe the last 10-ish years, 8 years, you'll know the name. But this guy is a very, very good footballer in terms of technical ability, creative spark. And for the people that love that passion stuff about getting the hard stuff done, he does that. He's a two-way winger. He will get back and do the defensive work. And obviously, we're going to need that in the Premier League. But people saying, but he's linked to Frankfurt. The only thing I would say in that is, what if Freiburg don't want to sell, in division? And when we're in the Premier League, when we can probably offer more competitive wages than, say, maybe Frankfurt, even if Frankfurt do achieve Champions League football, there's always a chance, always a chance. And I just think he's not number one on my list. Let me just say that. But around that sweet spot, which is around 20 million euros, which is around 18 million pounds, it's worth looking at. Obviously, he has his Japanese teammate here in Hao Tanaka. So, that would help him settle, quicker than usual. And it would just be one of those where you look at it, Ritsu Doan, Dan James on the right, those are two of your options. It's like they're very different, very, very different, in fact. But he gives you that technical ability that you need at Premier League level with a touch of flair and creativity, which you're obviously going to need especially in tight games. And I just think someone like that, it doesn't have to be him, but I'm thinking around these kind of players, because what I'm not doing is looking at players like Ipswich, Southampton, Leicester have tried to get, because that's what you don't want to do. All right, that's what you don't want to do, as you can see from their league position. So, and being this as well, competing with the Champions League club in Germany, depending on the player, of course, because obviously if it's Benjamin Sesko, it's not going to happen for us. But there are certain players where you think, if we sell them a pitch strong enough, we're in the Premier League, we can possibly get that player. That's what we should be going for, not Premier League scraps, not scraps of other teams where, he's a decent player, he can come here. We will have to compete for top player signatures, or good to top player signatures. That's just the way it is. You cannot just have an open run to players that are, a decent, or good. There's going to be competition, and Leeds United are going to have to be involved in bidding wars like this. So, 20 million for Ritsu Doan would be an absolute steal. I mean, just alone this season, his current season, 4 assists, 8 goals in 24 matches for Freiburg. He's doing well. He's doing well. He's more of a creative force than a goal scorer as well, which is a pretty good goal return so far. But yeah, listen, it's not so much about Ritsu Doan, but I feel that if we get promoted and he hasn't made a pre-contract move to Frankfurt, it could be worth exploring in the summer. Could be. If you've got any other names, please put them in the chat. I'm willing to read them and look at them with loving eyes, of course, with loving eyes. But people, that is it for the video today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like the video before you go, and I'll see you in the next one, people. Peace out.